company, let's say it's an insurance agent, let's say it's a provider, home inspector, somebody where you know that they need your contacts. Really, that's most of the time that's pretty apparent, right?
Right.
What would a title company, home inspector, insurance agent, or somebody of the kind have to say to you to perk your ears up to make you go, huh, it might be worth a conversation?
Yeah, the only reason I ever meet with either an insurance agent or a title company is if there's a way that they're going to connect me to a real estate agent on the other end. I don't really give a shit what they have to tell me. Their product or service is all irrelevant to me. Well, the insurance companies here in Florida are a little more important because it's a pain in the ass to get homeowners insurance. So I do lean on them as for partnership and helping my clients make sure they're not going out and getting some bogus policy.
Yep.
So that I do lean on a little bit more so, but as far as title goes, if I can't see a connection 1 or 2 moves away that they're going to put me in front of some realtors that they know, then I don't bother.
Okay.
So yeah, I agree with
you. Don't you think that right? And I think the real estate market has the same opinion of us.
Correct.
And so I think that whenever you pick up the telephone, knowing what your audience is really looking for is the reason why you get return phone calls. I always believed it had nothing to do with me. It had everything to do with what was I going to provide that realtor that nobody else can. And back to your point, how do you sound different? And that speaks to the needs that every real estate agent really faces every day. Most realtors, bar none, they don't really give 2 shits about what their business looks like. You and I both know that. There's a bunch of haphazard. They walk into a JLB every day. They don't really have a strategy. They don't have a plan. They don't have processes. They don't have systems. Most of them don't even have a database except what's on their telephone.
Correct.
And the truth is that when you call them, most of the time, you're speaking to somebody that's purely in survival mode. Did we talk about that before? Have we gone over those 4 stages of somebody's business?
I think, I don't believe so. No.
It's the staircase?
I don't believe so, no.
All right, I'm going to do something here. And this is important because I think a lot of times, to your point, when we talk about sounding different, we've got to know who our audience is first.
Okay.
Where is it? Well, that's frustrating. Hold on a second, brother. I got to find it.
Oh, no problem.
Got it right. Are you at your computer, brother? Trevor, are you at your computer, buddy?
Yep.
Okay. All right. I'm sharing my screen with you.
I got your meeting open, so if you're going to put something up like...
Yep, I'm putting it up right now. Do you see what I'm looking? Do you see the staircase?
Yes.
Okay. You've got to assess for yourself where you fit on this staircase. So I'll give you my lineage and tell you how long it took for me to get where I am today. So for the first, from 1995 to about 1998, I was in a job, survival mode. I was learning the business. I was getting my teeth kicked in. I was getting my ass handed to me every single day. There was no formal training. There was no internet. I mean, it was really just grind it out every day. And I think I probably quit 30 times in those couple years. I mean, literally drove by the office and said, F this, I'm not doing this shit anymore. And then realizing I didn't really have anything else to go back to. And I didn't want to go to corporate America, which is what I'd left after college to go into the mortgage industry, thinking it might be a good decision. So for the better part of 3 years, I was in a survival mode. I had a job. Well, when I realized that I had some talent and that I could get people to refer me, I realized that, I might actually have, a business that I could fall into. This might actually be something where, I can create some longevity. So I started to create some stability. I wasn't living paycheck to paycheck like I was in the first couple years. So from about 1998 to about my guess is about 2004. I had a business. I ran a mortgage business. I had some systems. I had some stabilities. It was good. I had some great success. And then I opened up my company. I opened up Vista Mortgage in 2004. And then I ran that business till about 2009. Well, I quickly realized that I didn't want to be an owner of a company anymore. It just wasn't my thing. I had two business partners. There was a lot of drama, a lot of bullshit. And so in 2009, I closed down my operation and I became just a loan officer again. So I went back to the grassroots. So I actually took a step back, and instead of going all the way back down to business, I maintained the career. But instead of being a career business owner, I realized that my real goal was just to be a loan officer. So that was my career. That's where I reached some significant success.
Okay.
2012, I was given an opportunity to get out of the mortgage business and get into the role that you see me today in. And that's where I feel like I'm at, which is my calling, which is where I feel like I'm making significant impact in other people's lives because I'm taking what I've learned over my career and providing it to others so that they don't make the same mistakes I do. But the truth is that I know where I was every stage of the way. I realized where I was and where I wanted to go. What it helped me identify with was I knew that most realtors were in the very first step. Most realtors don't get past that. So if you're picking up the telephone and you're trying to have a conversation and you're acting and talking like somebody that has a business or a career, but you're talking to somebody that has a job, do you think your message is really going to get through?
No.
No, they don't give two shits about your process and your system. They don't care about how referable you are. They don't care about how good you are. They don't care about how knowledgeable you are. They only really care about that they don't lose the deal and they get paid.
Right.
So that presentation is different than if you're speaking to somebody that has a real estate practice that has 4 buyer's agents, 5 listing agents, and they run the business, right? Totally different conversation.
Yes.
The truth is that when we pick up the telephone and we do the Thor's hammer and we call to leave messages, I would guess that 8 out of the 10 people that were calling fit into what category on this sheet of paper here, buddy? Which one?
Oh, job, definitely. Survival people.
Okay. So what do you say to somebody that you know wakes up every day and is shitting their pants because they may or may not have a paycheck coming this month?
Shoot, the easiest one for that would be if helping them know where their next deal's coming from, or at least not having to worry about where it's going to come from, helping them keep the pipeline filled. I think that's
so
roller coaster.
So
avoiding roller coaster.
Exactly. So creating some stability. So really aligning yourself as being somebody, hey, listen, I know that you are, I know that you're in the real estate business, and I know if you're like most agents, if you don't know exactly where your next deal is coming from, I don't know, but I may have an idea. It may not be worth it for you, but I have an idea that may be beneficial to you if you're willing to sit down with me for a half hour. It won't cost you anything, and I would love to share my strategy with you because it works for others. There's just a variety of different approaches to providing what I call the value without giving away the prize. The value is it's free. The value is that you're willing to sit down and meet with them for 30 minutes, even after you told them, I've heard you're awesome, I hear your name on the street, blah, 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 whatever you need to say to them in the beginning that warms them up. But the call to action is, I want to meet with you to see if you're even worth my time. The truth is that when you're done meeting with them, you have a better idea on whether or not you want to work with them and mentor them, because if they have the mindset of a JOB or they're in just survival mode, I have no interest in working with them, because you know what happens the moment that the deal doesn't go flawlessly? They run around like a chicken with their head on fire.
Right.
Because they're in panic mode, because they have no financial stability.
Right.
I preferred to work with the two middles, business and career. People that are in a, have some stability and have some success. That's what I preferred to work with. And I could tell the ones that were in a JOB mindset because they acted like they were scared. They acted very needy. Those are the people that wanted you to do everything for them. So my idea behind this whole presentation for you is really simple. When you pick up the telephone and we talk about what we said last week and you want to be different, please understand that the image of who you're talking to is equally as important as what it is that you're saying, because you have to tailor your message to fit the audience. You can't just pick up the phone across the board and just say, hey, my name is Trevor Smith. I'm a loan officer, blah, blah. I think it's a complete and total bad approach. I think the better approach is, hi, my name is Trevor Smith. I've heard great things about you in the marketplace. I would love to spend 30 minutes with you to see if there's a way that my proven system can help you increase the referrals that you get from your current clients and past clients. I'd love to share my ideas and strategies with you. If they don't call you back, Trevor, what does that mean? What do you think that means?
That they don't care about that.
Where do they fall on the staircase?
They might be at survival, or maybe like right before survival. That's not even
Exactly. But the ones that are in job and survival mode that pick up the phone and call you back gives you an idea that they're hungry enough to get past this.
Agreed.
So when we talk about, and what this really speaks to is developing the confidence and the willingness to be consistent with it, because we all know that consistency plagues our industry. The only way that we really accomplish significant results is through consistency. And the consistency starts with feeling good about what you're doing and having enough wins to want to pick up the phone. I don't have a problem calling 15 people a day if I can get 2 of them to talk to me. That means that that means that at some point in the day, I know that I'm going to reach somebody and have some kind of value. But if you call 30 people a week and you don't get responses for 4 and 5 weeks, that's a pretty brutal track record, don't you think?
No, agree.
And who the hell is going to stay consistent with that?
Yes.
Very few people have the self-value, the self-worth to look at themselves in the mirror and go, yeah, I know that what I'm saying is true and I know it works. I just got to get somebody to buy into it. The truth is that more often than not, it's not you that's not selling it. It's the fact that the image that you're presenting to them isn't valuable enough. Like you said a couple minutes ago, if I don't see 2 steps from where we're at that it turns into a realtor contact, I'm not bothered calling them. Sure. Well, don't you think a realtor's feeling the same way? They're looking at it going, if I don't see a value as far as them putting money up towards giving me something or giving me business, why would I want to call them? I got 30 of these LOs calling me every single day. What the fuck would I want to talk to them now?
Sure.
So the message is really simple for you is when you pick up the phone, understand who your audience is, speak to them about what you know their pain is, because somebody in survival mode is not sharing the same pain as somebody that's in stability mode or success mode.
True. But
you're better off approaching it with every one of those people that you call as if they're in survival mode, because the one thing that we all have a pain of is knowing where our next deal is coming from.
Sure.
When it's coming. And most of them don't really have a strategy that guarantees them success. But you and the Heckman group do, right? I mean, you guys really have a kick-ass system.
Yeah, definitely.
And if I'm in your shoes, I'm going, I've got the best assembly line in the business. I can make anybody's product better. I can make everybody's process easier. I can make everybody's result significantly more appealing. And all you need to do is get in front of people. Trevor, you're probably not nearly as good over the phone as you are face-to-face. Would I be right in that?
I say 100%. That's correct.
You are better face-to-face, belly-to-belly, flesh-to-flesh in delivering a message that's more attractive and more memorable, correct?
Yeah.
Because I'm the same way. I'm the exact same way. So my message every time I left a voicemail was, I'm not telling them I'm a loan officer, because the perception of most loan officers shoots me in the foot as soon as I say it.
Sure.
They'll never get past that. Hi, this is Trevor Smith. I'm a loan officer with the Brian Heckman Group. They've already shut you down. You know that, right?
Oh, 100%.
So I never left the voicemail that I was a loan officer. Hi, this is Doug Catteray. I've heard your name. I've seen your signs in the marketplace. I hear you're awesome. I'd love to share an idea that I have with you that I'm using to increase realtors like you, their referrals with their current clients and past clients. I would love to spend 30 minutes with you, not a minute more. If you're interested, give me a shout. You've just spoke to their pain, haven't you?
Yep.
So how likely is it that you would be willing to have that conversation with your agents that you call every Monday if that's what you do?
So you're asking how likely am I to have that conversation?
Yeah.
Previously, probably not, but
Okay.
if I start saying different, speaking differently, then yes, we'd be pretty likely.
So what would it sound like if you were saying it? What would it sound like? If you were calling me as a realtor and you were getting my voicemail, what would you say on a voicemail that would deliver the message of A, what you're doing, B, what my pain is, and C, what you need them to do?
All right. Hey, Doug. Hey, Doug, this is Trevor Smith with the Heckman Group. Hey, we're just reaching out to you. As I heard you're pretty awesome. I've seen you around the area, your name around often, and really just wanted to touch base with you to see if you'd be interested in hearing a strategy that we're using to help increase our realtor partners' closing percentage, and what we're also doing to help combat the low inventory in the area right now. You want to give me a ring back? I'd like to just chat with you for a few minutes to see if we'd be a good fit. 225-252-6693. Thanks, Doug.
Awesome. I would leave out the Heckman Group.
Gotcha. Because that just gets confusing.
And I would, and I would cut down what you're saying by half.
Gotcha.
The other part of it is that I would be, have you ever heard of the term called the assumptive close?
Yes.
Okay, the assumptive close was like for me in my business, it was always, I always ended my meetings with, isn't it nice to know you've got a friend in the business?
Okay.
Not because I believe that we were going to hang out and be buddy-buddy breaking bread and drinking beers together, but I believed that I was, in my mind, a friend to them, and I wanted them to feel the same way. So the last thing they hear from me is that when I shake their hands or give them a hug, it says, isn't it nice to know that you've got a friend in the business now? Okay. That assumptive close put me on a pedestal along with all the other people that they consider to be friends.
Okay.
Which means that they can relate that to trusting me. They can relate that to counting on me. They can relate that to believing everything that I have to say because that's who their friends are.
Okay.
And I didn't take that lightly. So the same thing applies to the phone message. Instead of saying, I wondered if you would like to, make it almost a necessity. Like, hi, my name is Trevor Smith. I would love to sit down and meet with you. Or I think it would be, I don't want to say to them, I don't want to sound pushy, but I would say I would love to sit down and meet with you, or we've got to get rid of the I statement, and I'm trying to figure out how to word that exactly because I haven't done that in a while.
No, I got you. I think for me, if I can write it down and just repeat it a couple times, I can roll off my tongue. I was kind of, if I pull stuff out of my ass, I get long-winded. So I need to have something inside because I can say it in the correct tone and delivery. But if I start freewheeling, I can go off the rails rather quickly. So.
Okay. So I would cut it down and deliver the message where it's, hi, my name is Trevor Smith. We have a guaranteed plan and program that helps you increase the referrals that you get from your current and past clients. I want to spend 30 minutes with you, no more. Give me a call and let's see if this is something that's of value to you. And then the meeting face-to-face is those three questions. Because in the beginning, the meeting face-to-face. Are you married, Trevor?
No.
Okay. Are you dating somebody?
Several somebodies.
All right, several somebodies. Perfect. Okay, so this fits perfectly. So in the beginning, when you first pick up the phone, or you send an email or connect with them, you just try to find a time to meet. The first meeting that you have with them, it's a flirting session. All you're doing is flirting with each other to see if there's any chemistry, to see if there's a spark. And so that's what the 30-minute face-to-face is. It's not that we're going to start dating, and it's not that we're going to get married. It's I just want to see if you have the spark that makes me want to talk to you again. And that happens through flirting. And that's all the 30-minute presentation is. And that's why in order to flirt with them, you've got to have a skill set around it, which is those 3 questions. Do you believe the definition of a successful transaction is a referral? Do you prefer to work with a lead or a referral? And then what makes you referable? And what you end up hearing is their answers, and it helps you identify if they're quality enough for you to invest time and energy with. And you, at the end of that 30 minutes, know exactly where they are on that list. And the fact that then you can show them this list, you can tell them that I'm only interested in partnering with agents that want to go from level 1 to level 2 or to level 2 to level 3. That's who I'm interested in working with. But if all you want is to stay in the JOB, then that's okay. That's just not the agent that I want to invest in, because my strategy requires you to be deliberate and intentional. You kind of see how the message now becomes less about talking about mortgages and more about being a partner and helping them get to where they want to go. And it isn't about you anymore. It's all about them and helping them get to where they want to go without you telling them that that this is where they're at. You can show them this. They can figure it out for themselves. And then what they do is end up getting put on the spot going, oh my God, I never really looked at it that way. And you can have some amazing conversations with people when they begin to realize that your value is far greater than just closing loans, because you and I both know that you're awesome at closing loans, but you're probably significantly better at building great relationships with people. And then as you develop the relationship with the client and they go back to that realtor and say thank you, and you take them from the JOB level that they're at to the business level, now you have a partnership that will never go away with anybody soliciting them for business.
Sure.
Is this registering at all?
Yeah, definitely.
How is this different than the way you were approaching it before? Is it?
So before I ever joined the Heckman group or anything, I was really more, really relying on meeting somebody in person and sitting down and talking with them. And then when I did, it was more so I did too much talking about myself and too much talking about stuff that really doesn't register with them, like what loan products we have and shit. They don't really care. And I was more so, that was really my only content I had to share with them. So I didn't necessarily have anything else. What else? If I didn't talk about that, I'd talk about the weather. Like there was really nothing else pertinent for me to say. So really that was, I was missing this ammunition from my business to have more specific things. And I really haven't even been cold calling, and my lead count has been rather low, and I'm still having deals in my pipeline. So I'm to the point now where I'm going to have to start cold calling to start filling up that gap. And the reason I haven't been is because I don't want to waste my time and call and just say nothing. So now that we're getting through these and I'm getting some good things to at least say, and at the very least, like you said, if I'm calling 30 people, I'm leaving 28 messages most likely on a Monday. I mean, it's just unless I know, like I have a couple agents that I'm doing a deal with now that are on the listing side that I'm not working with at all, but they will answer my phone call, so I know I can at least get them to answer me. So that's one good thing. I have some good warm contacts, but I need to add, not all of them are worthy of really chasing down for 12 weeks either. So that's really where I'm because before, again, my content was more about me and loan specific things, which again, as we talk through all these things, I realize that I'm thinking I'm helping them fill a knowledge gap, but they're really just tuning it all out and don't really care because it's not necessary.
Most of the time the agent is never going to implement the things that you're talking about.
Sure.
Never. I mean, it really rarely ever changes their business, but what it does is it puts you into a different category in their brain when it comes to what they want for their clients.
True.
If I'm going to refer a client to a realtor, so for an example, I've got this realtor friend of mine that has been doing business with me for forever. His name is Chuck, a couple years younger than me. So my wife now, who's in the business, now has taken over my mortgage practice, and she deals with them on a day-to-day basis. And they just got done dealing with one of his friends. He referred one of his friends to us, who was the biggest miser on the planet. I mean, the guy makes close to $1 million a year, and he's buying a $500,000 house and getting a mortgage for $120,000. and you would have thought that he had no money in his bank account because he beat him up on the $300 admin fee from the real estate agent, which was his best friend. They didn't let him. They didn't let him sell their home because he didn't. The guy didn't want my buddy Chuck, the realtor, to make 2 commissions on the deal. So he used another agent to sell his home. They beat my wife up down to, on the costs. I mean, it was literally abusive. I mean, the guy and his wife were it's over the top. You know those types of people, right?
Of course.
So after the closing, what's that?
I said, I hate working with those buyers.
Oh, I hate them. And so after the closing, Denise and Chuck, the realtor, sat down and they talked about it. And Denise was like, you know what, I'm so sorry. The guy, I feel like the guy just wasn't happy no matter what I did. And so Chuck proceeded to tell her everything that he did to him. And so Chuck's like, listen, you know what, we're on the same page. We work on the same side of the field together. Nothing we can do about it. We just have to have each other's backs. That's a partner mentality. Chuck knows what I do. He doesn't care about how I do things. He has his own style, but he also knows that when he refers a client to me, he's going to get the result that he would get if I referred a client to him. He's going to get the same level of service. He's going to get that same reciprocity. He's going to get the same mindset of, how do I make it so that you're so happy with our service that you're going to refer us, which is how he's built his practice. But that's the agent that you're looking for. Not every agent's going to apply. Not every girl that you're going to date is going to be the girl you marry. But the reality is that there's enough agents out there that you can hang out with and have fun with that will send you enough business, but they're not going to send you the business because you are helping them grow their business. You are in a way, but they're never going to look to you like a business coach. But the fact that you talk like it, the fact that you think like it, the fact that you approach your business that way, every time one of their clients goes back to them and says thank you, you've insulated yourself against anybody else ever taking over. So regardless if they do anything that you tell them, regardless if they believe that you're the best business partner for them when it comes to growing their business, your ability to appear like a significantly higher level professional is the reason why they think about you first when it comes to referring their clients. So simply by talking about what's important to them automatically elevates you over the riffraff of most of the loan officers in your marketplace. Because what you just got done saying, most of the people and most of what you struggled with, not having any value to talk about, not having any ammunition, that's 99% of your competition out there, brother.
No,
that's 99% of your competition. So as soon as you start talking about things that you and I are sharing, you're elevating your consultative skills, and the agents recognize that. You stand out in the crowd of being somebody of significant value, and then you just have to decide whether or not you want to date them or not.
Sure.
For the prize.
Well, it's kind of funny that I am newly single after a very long time, and I'm going through the dating and actually my personal romantic relationship life, and also at the same time in my business relationship life.
Yeah.
So,
but you're going to be amazed. There's a lot of similarities. See, once you get somebody interested in you, the rest of it's natural. Like, you don't have to really become somebody that you're not to impress a woman. You don't have to be anybody that you're not, because genuinely, if you're not that kind of a person, it'll eventually come out and you're just not going to, they're going to see through it. Like, the honeymoon stage is over, and at some point, I think they talk about the crazy shows up, usually in about 6 months.
Sure.
So the honeymoon stage is over once the crazy shows up. And once the crazy shows up, that's when you get a real picture of who you're dating. And it's the same thing with the realtor. All you need to do with the realtor is date them, flirt with them for a little bit, and every now and again you might get to go and hang out with them and have some fun, i.e. like they would refer you a client. But not every agent you're going to marry, and that's okay, because most of them may be good from afar, but they're far from good.
No, I definitely agree there.
So when you approach these phone calls, it's like dating them. Give them enough information to make them want to meet with you. And then when you sit down with them, don't pour your guts out on the table. Become more interested and less interesting. So take the I and me statements off the board and start asking questions about, wouldn't it be neat? How would you feel? What do you think of? If your business looked like this, which are all pictures of what you could provide them, but you don't say it with an I and me statement. You put it in their mind. You put it in their perspective. You tell them the story.
Okay.
That make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
So what I want to hear from you, if you could please, do me a favor, write down your script that you would call with the realtors next Monday, or you're going to do it this week. Call me on my cell phone.
Okay.
I won't answer it, and you don't have to do it. I'll just, when you call, I'll recognize if it's a Tampa number or not. Or what's your cell phone number that you'll call me from?
Yeah, I'm a 225 area code, Baton Rouge.
Okay. All right. When you call me, when I see that number coming through, I'm going to hit ignore, and I want you to leave me the voicemail that you would leave with a realtor. Now, mind you, tone is important, enthusiasm is important, and the conversation and the script can't be very long-winded. It's got to be short, direct, and to the point. Hit the hot buttons is all you want them to do is call you back because you've got something to give them, like $100 bill. Really, because the information you're giving them is worth $100. That's truly what you're doing.
Are you 248? 568?
Yes. You got it.
Gotcha. I'll make sure I got you.
Work on that script, and I'm not saying you're going to see a windfall of success. What I'm saying, though, is that when you do this, I'd love to see what the return response is going to be compared to what you've been doing, to see if it's increased or decreased your responses.
No, I definitely believe that it will be helpful, and I haven't necessarily. Again, I'm trying to not do too many things at the same time, but at this point, I'm getting to where I need more leads. My conversion has actually been pretty good with the leads that I've been getting, but my pipeline is not big enough because I'm not getting enough leads. So I'm converting at a good rate. So I really need to make sure I'm getting some more people that are going to send me some quality stuff. And unfortunately, the hard part is I have a handful of agents who send me drips and drabs, but everything they send me is a quality person, so which is good. It's just not enough to sustain myself to where I'm closing 5, 6, 7 a month.
Let me ask you a question. I'm gonna ask you a question that I was asked when I got into the business in 1995, and I want your honest answer.
Yes. Go ahead.
If I was to give you $500 to procure new leads or more referrals, where would you spend that money?
$500? Shoot, I'd be probably trying to go out to coffee or lunch meetings more all month long, every day I possibly could.
Okay. So you do that with realtors and whatever?
Yes. I already go out. I try to do at least 2 lunches a week just because lunch is a nice way to get to know somebody. Yeah. If I've already met with them before or someone that I do business with or I already know casually. So this way it kind of helps keep me talking to people and keep me in front of people. And I actually just got taken to lunch twice in the last 2 weeks by somebody else, which is nice. But with the $500, I would definitely be more aggressive in saying, hey, I'll take you somewhere out. And getting a lunch appointment with a cold lead is really difficult because that's kind of awkward if you don't know a person to sit there for 30, 40 minutes or an hour and you don't really know each other. But after second follow-up, I love a lunch meeting because that's where I do the best and get to know them more and really get a better connection over lunch than coffee or over the phone.
Have you lived in Florida most of your life?
No, I've lived here a year as of May this month.
Got it. Okay. So do you have a pretty big social circle?
That I hang out with, but not really. Outside of people that I know through the industry, it's a very small social circle.
It's very small?
Very,
okay.
If I were to invite people over that weren't involved in real estate or mortgage, maybe 10 people. I could call maybe if I was lucky, maybe 5.
All right, no problem.
My people I'm connected with the industry.
Who's the matriarch of your social circle?
Probably a buddy of mine who's from the area. He went to UT, University of Tampa here, and he lives in Pete now. He's just turned 30, so he's at that age where all his friends are buying houses and getting married and all that fun stuff. So I'm a little bit older than them, but they like sports. They like the Rangers, the Yankees, so it's helpful for me to kind of connect with them that way. But yeah, he's probably the one that's He's probably the one that's the easiest person to connect me with other people. And I'm actually doing his deal right now. His deal just got cleared to close. So hopefully he'll be closing at the end of the month.
So what I was asked, my answer to the question was a lot like yours. I would market, I would, spend time taking people to lunch and whatnot. But the guy that mentored me said, instead of taking somebody who doesn't know you, like you, and trust you to lunch, why don't you take 5 of your top contacts, whether it's family, friends, previous business contacts, sit down with them and simply ask them for help. See, I don't believe, Trevor, that you're looking for mortgage leads. That's not what you're looking for. What you're looking for is a chance to help somebody out and amplify that relationship with the person that's introducing you to them. So I didn't want a mortgage lead. I asked the people in my life that I cared about. I wanted to help somebody learn the right information about buying a home. So I asked for people who were seeking mortgage information. I wanted to be the go-to person. I wanted to be the Google or the Wikipedia for my social circle. I didn't care if I did the mortgage or not. I just wanted them to think of me going, okay, if I wanted to figure out what the best route is and I didn't want to spend all night Googling it on the internet, I wanted to call somebody I trusted, I'd call Doug. So I spent $500. I took 5 of my closest contacts to a really nice dinner. And we sat down, and in the meeting, it was always, here's what I'm doing, here's why I'm doing it. I could use your help. And you know what I got out of it? I got about 10 referrals out of it. That was back in 1998.
Okay.
So if you're thinking, like, for this buddy of yours that you're doing the deal with,
right?
Does he know that you need his help? And I don't say need lightly. I don't say you want his help. I'm saying you need his help. And I'm not saying need in a very leaning, very needy way. I'm saying he's the right person for you to look at and go, listen, I could use your help. In fact, I need it. If I could work with people just like you, I would have the best business in the world. And I promise that anybody that you introduce me to, they will come back to you and say thank you. That's my promise to you, no matter what happens.
Okay. Now, he also works at a very progressive company here in St. Pete that's like most of the executives are 30-ish.
Yeah.
There's a few like C-level executives that are in their late 20s. I went to meet him at his job, and every person has a nice car, big trucks, and all types of crap in their Teslas, and so people get paid. He's an entry-level guy, and he makes like $55,000 or $60,000, and he didn't have any experience on what they did there. So it's a great. What I really like to do is try to get some more penetration in his business, because everybody there either owns a house or is going to buy a house or is buying a bigger house within the next couple years.
Yep. So your approach is, if you introduce me to your friends and your contacts, I'm going to make you look like a rock star, because I don't care about the deal. I care about making you look good. You kind of get that whole approach with the triangle of trust?
Yeah, no, I definitely get you.
And so so here's the power behind the meeting. So you're doing this guy's deal. And I want you to be truthful with me, does this guy know that you need his help? No, he doesn't. I guarantee you he doesn't.
No.
He doesn't.
No.
You didn't arrange for the conversation. You didn't set the stage in the beginning that said, I will pour my blood, sweat, and tears into this transaction because I care about you and I care about your family and I care about making this deal go as smoothly as possible. In return, I have one commitment request from you, and that is that you refer me to somebody in your life that you care about. If you had set that stage up in the very beginning, and now you've taken them through the process, has the process been pretty smooth?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the only reason we haven't closed already is because the seller refuses to move the closing up. They're moving to Canada, or else we were already been closed and within less than 30 days probably.
So everything that you have done has been above the bar of expectation.
Yes, definitely.
Has he said thank you to you at all during the process?
Yes. I got him locked in, I think, a quarter cheaper than what we initially disclosed at, because we played the market a little bit. So He was very thankful.
So
Gave him about 40, $50 a month, roughly $40, I think, on the quarter.
Yep. You did by far. If you were to grade yourself, you wouldn't have given yourself an A-. You would have given yourself an A+ and a smiley face.
Oh, definitely.
Do you think that you deserve a quality referral from him for the effort that you put into the transaction?
Yes.
Do you think anybody else would have given him the value that you've given him?
No.
Okay. And so I'm going to go back to the question that I asked you. Does he know that you need his help?
No, he doesn't.
Okay. Shame on you for simply shutting the door on all of the great effort and all the blood, sweat, and tears that you put into this transaction. Whether it was hard for you or not to do it, you put in blood, sweat, and tears, and you poured yourself into this transaction. And lo and behold, this transaction is going to go down as one of your better transactions. And the client, your audience, doesn't know that you need more leads. He doesn't even know that you could use a referral from him. He doesn't even expect you to say it. And that's wherein lies the idea of setting the stage. It is so much easier if you set the stage in the beginning. As they go through the process and they go, God, Trevor, thank you so much. Your response is, you know what? Thanks for noticing, my friend. I told you I work really hard at taking my friends and my clients through the process and making them so thrilled that they're compelled to want to tell somebody that they care about me. Remember, I'm counting on you. God, that's not a sales pitch. That's helping a brother out. That's telling somebody that I'm going to do right by you, but I need your help. Because in all fairness, he's not paying you any money. There's nothing coming out of his pocket for you. And you crushed it. And yet you simply politely shut the door on his face and you see nothing wrong with it. And that's the problem. You're not seeing your value clear enough, and you're not requiring your clients to agree to what you need. You're agreeing to what they need, but you're not asking them to agree to what you need. And that's your greatest deficiency right now. You learn the art of setting the stage, because I know we went over those bullet points, didn't we? Did we talk about the 5 bullet point opener?
Yes, I believe so.
You know, the building the rapport, permission to reject, the triangle of trust, you're going to hate me, and the agreement to work together. The agreement to work together set in the very beginning allows all of the moments that you've just described to not go unnoticed and to not go without you saying, please remember, I'm counting on you. That's what they're saying about you, brother. Remember, Trevor, I'm counting on you. Remember, Trevor, I'm counting on you. Remember, Trevor, we're counting on you. And you don't take that lightly, do you?
No.
You don't respond with it in kind. You simply bow your head like a servant, like an order taker, and go and do your amazing job. And you show up and you're like, great, I did my job. Thanks for the attaboy. Everything is great. And then you come to me and be like, I don't have enough leads. Your clients can increase your referrals by 30 to 40% if you're asking. So out of every 5 clients that you're working with, you would get 1 to 2 more referrals from them before they close. It's not easy, but you have to learn the art of asking when they acknowledge your hard effort. But it starts with setting the stage, because otherwise it feels awkward when you ask during the process if that's not something they agree to.
Sure, I agree. And what it makes it a little difficult here was that I was very reluctant to go about this. I didn't do it as focused as you did in my previous. So two companies ago, we were big into referrals and had a similar process as Brian with a team and sending thank yous and thank you cards and trying to just stand out as much as possible. With the company that I was just at, I was reluctant to ask for people to refer me because I was not confident that I could consistently deliver if I had a large volume of business, which was part of the reason why it didn't work out. So that's right. Something I started talking with him probably 6 to 8 months ago. So it's one of those to where I'm trying to reset my mindset, and unfortunately now some of these deals I have in my pipe I didn't get to lay the groundwork on, which at this point there's no way going backwards, right? But I totally understand. I realize that's
wrong. You can go back to it. It just requires you to have a little humility.
No, sure.
There's nothing wrong with it, because you could pick up the phone and go, Mr. and Mrs. Client, can I ask you a really genuine question? How did the process go? How would you rate the overall process of this transaction? And you know what they're going to say. You don't even have to question it. And they're going to give you some accolade, right? Every one of them. Correct?
True.
And then your response is, I have to be honest with you. I did something that I feel I should have done in the very beginning. And everybody's going to be like, what? Because now they feel like, because you're apologizing, it sounds like you're apologizing for something. And the truth was, and you tell them, the truth is that I didn't tell you how much my clients mean to me. You guys are the lifeblood of my business. I count on my clients to refer me to the people they care about, because I care so much about you guys. That's why this process has gone so smoothly. And I didn't tell you that there's 100 things that we avoided to get you to this place. And there was a lot of people that worked really hard to make it happen. And I'm proud to sit here today and see you guys buying this home. But I would be doing myself a disservice if I didn't ask you. Would you please not keep me a secret? Introduce me to somebody you care about. I just want to help out somebody you know, so that they have the chance to come back to you and say thank you. Could you? Is that a sales pitch?
No.
Does that sound like a genuine request for help?
Yes.
And you've earned the right to ask, haven't you?
Yes.
Now get out there and freaking ask. Come on, man. You're killing me. You get the message, right?
No, 100%. And what I was meaning is, like, I can't go back in time and start that from the beginning, but I agree with you.
No.
I think that usually save face, and particularly for someone who I'm friendly with, and I do a good enough job of building rapport with clients that I never even meet face to face, where I would feel comfortable asking them. I don't feel uncomfortable. I'm not capitalizing on the opportunities, and I'm not laying enough groundwork to where it's natural for me to start asking that. I do ask, not consistent, and not consistent enough, and not
deliberate.
Not at every opportunity. So I'm definitely missing opportunities. That's obviously why I'm not getting what I want out of it.
Well, here's the message that I want you to leave with today, and we'll be done. Is it easier to ask the people that have agreed to work with you for help than it is to pick up the phone and cold call 30 new realtors? Which is easier?
1,000% to talk to people I know and I've already helped.
Which conversation do you think carries more weight?
100% the people I already know and helped.
So every time you choose, and it is a choice, it's not that you're too busy, it's just a choice, because it's not a priority. Every time that you have a client that you don't look at that name and go, they know without a doubt that I need their help. I used to look at my lead tracker, and every time I did a pipeline meeting with my team, I always asked them, does every one of these people on this sheet know that we need their help still? I set the stage, but does my team follow through on it? Yeah, sure. I could pick up the phone and ask any one of my clients at any point in time if my team is doing a good job, and have they been asking them not to keep us a secret? That was our brand. That was it. That's all I mattered to me. That's the only thing I cared about every single day. And if you have that going for you, brother, that's why your realtors will work with you, because they're never going to do it. They're never going to orchestrate those moments. And when you get the referral, and it comes from a realtor client that referred, a realtor refers you a client, and then that client refers you a client, guess who's in the driver's seat? Guess what happens when you're able to take a referral and give it to that realtor? The realtor's not getting the referral. You are. My last year in business, I passed out 25 purchase transaction referrals to my 5 realtors. 25. And that didn't include listings. That was just my, the sale for a new home. Some of them had homes to sell too. Who is the prize?
Yeah, you are.
I didn't think my realtors were going to get the referrals. I didn't count on them. Hell no, I'm not counting on a realtor to provide me my financial security. I'm going to take control of my financial security. And I have a choice. Either I can go call new realtors, or I can get business from my current clients and past clients. And believe me, I would prefer to work with the consumer every single day of the week opposed to a new realtor.
Sure.
63% of my business came from past clients and current clients. 63%. It's possible. Just trust me, I'm not the best LO out there. But I was deliberate and intentional with every conversation because I knew what mattered. What only mattered to me is that they understood what I needed from them, because I knew that I was going to deliver on everything they needed from me. So that was easy. Just like when you date, you know what you're capable of. You know that if they agree to date you, you're going to knock their socks off. But they have to prove to you that they're just as qualified. So the agreement, you have to make sure you put that agreement out there, because when you go through the process and you exceed their expectations, which you do all the time, or most of the time, you're missing those chances every time they say thank you to amplify your business without really much work. I mean, you're doing the shit anyway, right? I mean, you're doing the work, you're putting the loan through the process, you're just changing a little bit of the details going, please don't keep me a secret. Please don't keep me a secret.
Right. It's the consistency that I'm lacking right now.
Well, you got to make the decision that you have to choose that the conversation is so much better to have with a client than it is to have with an agent that doesn't know you. And believe me, these conversations don't cost you any money. It's free business. You don't have to take these clients to lunch. You don't have to take you don't have to date them. They're literally just throwing clients at you. And chances are your friends and your clients aren't passing out 3 business cards at the same time either.
Sure. No, that's correct.
I want to hear the voicemail, brother. I would love to hear what it sounds like. Can you do that for me?
You got it. I'm gonna actually put something concise and concise down on paper and practice a few times before I call you. So at least you can give me some accurate feedback on what hopefully my real voicemail will sound like.
Right.
But yeah.
But here's the cool part.
Get back on. So.
Yep. So and the more that you practice it, the more natural it'll become. And then just, let's see what kind of results you get.
Yes.
All right, brother. Make it a great day, buddy.
You got it. Thanks, Doug.
All right, bud. See ya.
Bye.